Folks, this is a DEFCON 1 level threat to motorcycling. The Yamaha R1 and R1 M models will be discontinued in Europe. Yamaha has officially confirmed this through Visor Down. They broke this news just yesterday, and I had to jump on here to make a video because as a Yamaha simp and a sport bike guy, this is very alarming. This is like, oh my God, what is happening? Is everything gonna go to crap? We're not gonna race anymore? Are there gonna be any more R1s? Ah! Well, let me tell you this. It's a little bit overblown. Yes, the news is not good, but the motorcycling market isn't going to crater. So let's discuss what this means for Yamaha discontinuing the R1, what to expect from here, and kind of what I think is gonna happen next. So Visor Down broke this news that the Yamaha R1 and R1 M are gonna be discontinued because Yamaha has decided to not pursue Euro 5 plus emission regulations for these particular models. The official quote from Yamaha UK reads, Yamaha Motor Group have taken the decision to not develop an EU 5 plus, Euro 5 plus version of the R1 or R1 M, instead focusing on other midterm business and product strategies that will provide future opportunities. Now that's a little bit hard to read through the tea leaves of the corporate legalese speak, but basically what they're saying is they're going to keep giving you new, slightly updated versions of the MT10 and CP2 platform engines for years and years and years to come. There's a big reason why bikes like the Tenere 700 have received upgrades and the MT09 seemingly gets upgraded every 2 years because these are the most competitive markets in terms of sales. It should come as no surprise to any of us here on this channel watching these videos that superbikes just simply are not selling like they used to. Top of the line bikes costing $25,000, $30,000 or $35,000 in small, low volume sales are just not what's attractive to a big conglomerate like Yamaha particularly. Companies like Ducati can get away with it because that's their bread and butter, and overall they're just smaller than a company like Yamaha. When you think of the big four, you have to think of them in these terms. They are giant Japanese conglomerates that are trying to achieve the most volume possible. Famously, Suzuki axed their GSX-R 1000R superbike because they were like, this just doesn't even make any sense for us to keep doing. They then axed their MotoGP program and have since basically just been taking the axe to all the sport bikes in their lineup, all the inline fours, and you now see them putting a ton of effort into the GSX-8R, the V-Strom, and even the GSX-8S naked bike. Yamaha is going to follow a very similar strategy, but with one big difference, because Yamaha has a model that's going to come in and fill this gap a little bit. So if 200 plus horsepower superbikes don't really make sense for the street, what's gonna be Yamaha's flagship, truly fared option? Well, I think in Europe we're starting to see a bit of a glimpse of the future in the XSR 900 GP.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
This is a really cool, like, retro bike that's been coming out. You're literally on power. This is a really cool bike coming out for the European-only market that's kind of like a retro, new age, throwback, fully fared bike. We're not gonna get it here in the States, but I guarantee you, at some point, Yamaha will release the vaunted, very expected Yamaha R9. I personally believe that the Yamaha R9 is going to be a slightly more upright, slightly more comfortable, a little bit easier to live with motorcycle than the Yamaha R1. A Yamaha R9 with slightly more agreeable ergonomics and that super punchy triple cylinder engine could be a massive sales hit for Yamaha. As long as they give it the R-bike styling, that thing will sell. And they proved that with the Yamaha R7. One question that remains to be answered is whether or not Yamaha will continue to invest in the MT10 platform, despite the fact that they won't have the corollary Yamaha R1 superbike to develop it. I think there's a very high probability that Yamaha will continue developing the MT10 platform and keep updating it and making it better and better. The reason for that is because this is a much cheaper model than the Yamaha R1, and it's a much more competitive and probably has a lot more sales volume to back it up. In that category, you have KTM's newly revised KTM 1390 Super Duke, the Ducati Street Fighter V4S, the BMW M1000R. There are lots of really top shelf, amazing naked bikes on sale today, and Yamaha would be pretty foolish to not try to play in that market. Most of those bikes don't have superbike corollaries. I mean, the KTM Super Duke 1390 is kind of its own standalone naked bike, and KTM seems to be selling plenty of those to be happy. What Yamaha's probably going to do with the Yamaha R1 M will be like the Yamaha R6. They're probably going to sell a race-only model that's titled as a non-highway use vehicle. It doesn't come with lights or all the necessary DOT equipment. I could definitely see Yamaha doing that, and they've started kind of piloting that out with their GYTR products that they're coming out with. Because I guarantee you, Yamaha does not want to stop being in World Superbike or MotoGP. Those are huge branding exercises for them, and unlike Suzuki, Yamaha has a very strong presence in World Superbike and MotoGP for the last 20, 30, even 40 years continuously. And although the Valentino Rossi connection is pretty distant in the past now with Yamaha, there still is a very strong brand ambassador relationship between the GOAT himself and the Yamaha R1. In my opinion, this is also going to increase the value of existing Yamaha R1Ms on the road because they're just not going to make them anymore. This happened with the R6 model. Basically, when Yamaha decided they weren't making R6s anymore, everyone and their dog that had an R6 in their driveway instantly thought it was worth 30 to 40% more than what they paid for it. I wouldn't be surprised if guys who have R1Ms right now are dancing with joy because they're going to think their bikes are also worth 30 to 40% more than their book value. It's important to note that the cutoff for sales for the existing R1s is probably going to be in 2025, with Euro 6 regulations probably showing up way later on in the decade, so that's probably going to be the last model year we see for the R1. Many R1s will continue to exist on out there in the streets, much in the same way Suzuki sport bikes continue to do so, even if they continue axing them. But new production R1s probably are going to stop existing, especially here in the US. And you might say, but those are just restrictions for Europeans, Yam. We can still have the R1. Well, Yamaha's gonna look at Europe as the gigantic market that it is with 800 million people and say, yeah, it's not really worth it to build an America exclusive bike to sell to a market that doesn't even want leader sport bikes in the first place. So I, for one, am quite sad about the demise of the R1, but I know it will continue to live on with enthusiasts and people who really appreciate and love the bike for what it is. People who have R1s right now will definitely keep taking care of them. Fingers crossed we don't get too many more of them wadded up, especially the M models, so we can keep enjoying these amazing machines that Yamaha built. There's no doubt about it though, it is a sad day in the world of motorcycling that we do not get a Yamaha R1 being sold brand new anymore. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this decision from Yamaha to discontinue the R1 and R1M in the European Union. They're not going to meet Euro 5 plus emissions, and they're certainly not going to develop the bike to meet Euro 6 emissions later in the decade, so we're seeing the final swan song for the legendary cross-plane superbike piloted by Valentino Rossi in MotoGP, loosely based and made famous by Toprak in World Superbike. I'm a huge fan of the R1. I will definitely miss seeing it in showroom floors. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this somewhat sad video about the Yamaha R1 and R1M. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.